Gone?
Just took this down and
Nope.
we put two staples in.
Nope.
The two staples are in the back here. Pins are not doing the trick. I know that it fits. I know where it needs to go. I'm confident to start putting in a couple staples, but we're just going to staple it here, in the center, here in the arms, one on each corner and one on the fronts of these arms so that we can stretch this around before we go trigger happy with the staple gun. So the first thing I already stapled the top. I need to lock in the bottom so that I can lock in this middle part of the curve. So I have to make cuts for the bottom here. And Lisa, you might want to get this closer to me.
Okay.
Down here. I'm going to get some scissors and I'm going to get
Welcome back, TikTok.
Sharpie. Sorry guys.
Sorry about that. We had a little bit of a power failure.
So before I make any cuts, I want to make sure that these two things are in the right place. And I know that those line up with the wood supports that I'm cutting around in the back. They should come to one side of it. I can't remember if it's the inside or the outside. But it should come to one side or the other because I don't want to cross a seam when I make a cut. So I'm just stretching this out because this has to all be stretched out. Looking where my center mark is, which is here, and that's lined up in the same spot here. Trying my best to visually keep it centered as I push it back so it stays tight. See how it hugs that chair?
Yeah,
And
just
now what
pulled
I'm
right in.
feeling for is those supports in the back with my hands.
Gotcha.
You can see them on the outside, and as you get more and more material on here, they get harder to see.
They do.
So this actually goes right up to the center of that support. And one thing I did while I was doing
The
this
welt
before,
does?
yeah.
Okay.
One thing I did while I was doing this before was
Yeah.
I was able to staple that welt to the support to hold it in place before, because I
You made
could
a
reach
cut?
it before I made a cut.
Oh.
So I'm going to do that too. My seam is facing the wrong direction, so I just before I staple that
Oh,
down.
so that adjustment she's making is the seam here?
Yeah, they all has to all be going in the same direction, and in this case, it's laying flat this way.
To the outside.
So we want that to be
Welcome
right.
back, everybody that's rejoining.
Thank you for rejoining.
Thanks for
too.
coming
I'm
back.
outside
Sorry
today.
for the power failure on the phone.
It happens. We're here all day.
Right?
Phones go dead. Okay, so. Whew. So I'm going to get these lined up with those supports, because that's how I measured the fabric. And then I'm going to put a staple in that support. You might not have the opportunity to do that. I would try securing with pins whenever possible. But in this case, I am able to do that. So I'm going to attach this through that welt with a staple to the support. A temporary staple. So it's not going flat in. I'm tipping it to the side.
So it goes in kind of on an angle, so you
Right.
have that space to be able to stick a staple puller under.
You're not
Blah,
always
blah, blah,
able
blah.
to do this. This is a very special
This is a special chair that has this opportunity.
has the opportunity to do this. So this one, and I have to also have to make sure that it stretches out in the center too. I haven't made any cuts, and right now I've got 3 areas stapled. That didn't even
Didn't staple?
tip in it.
Oops.
So maybe even on this chair. I can't do
Maybe it won't work.
I think I'm just not pushing it back far enough. Oh, it's not stretching out far enough either. You're constantly feeling for that barrier. You don't want it to go away. I'm like missing
You're missing the
barrier. Like I'm
board?
going into foam. Ugh, it's so hot in here.
It is hot in here.
It's like not stapling. It feels like wood.
But it's not.
It's not.
Where's your finger?
I don't know if this goes.
So is that you?
Yeah.
Okay,
This is my finger
this is
here.
That's your finger? This is the wood right here. Like, yep.
Oh, so I'm going over too
You're
far.
going too far to the
To
center.
the right.
Oh, no.
Can you feel my finger?
I did. I was making sure you weren't. So I'm gonna put my finger in the center.
Move your finger, because I got a stapler
Got
in there
it?
now.
Did you find it? Oh, you got it? Okay.
I don't know. Yes?
There we go.
It looks like I got it. So now that I got those two stapled, I'm gonna come back up here again, where the center one is, and I'm gonna make that tighter.
Oh, gotcha.
Because those are locked down. So you need a staple remover and a pair of pliers for this.
Staple remover and pliers, in case you couldn't hear from over there.
Can I get you, Lisa,
Yes.
the biggest favor?
What?
Will you go fill this with water? There's a water
Yeah, the water cooler.
I'm a dying man.
It's hot in here.
It is hot. So I want to tighten this back up, so I'm taking these two temporary staples out in the back. Andy? Good. Whew. There we go.
That's an open window for me, so
Is the air
air
on?
on?
Are we using the air these days yet? It's hotter outside.
I'm sure it's hotter outside. Yeah, it's 84 outside.
Okay. So,
So if the person that rejoined us who asked us about the weather in August,
it's like
it's
almost
84 right now
feels
in
like
May.
102.
So, you know, we're like every other place in the world. You can't count on the weather.
So one thing that's concerning me is the direction of the wrinkles on the front.
That they're up and down.
Are they straight up and down? Okay, good. If they're diagonal in any way, it means that it's sheared. It's like put on crooked.
This coming down in there is kind of like a little swoopy
Over to this side.
to the left
So I
side.
think that just needs to get pulled over here more. That staple is already coming out. So
Wow,
that's probably
what's up with that staple?
I don't. I'm gonna trust where this is. So the next ones I want to do. Well, I'm not gonna trust where it's at. God damn it. I think maybe it might be brought over to the other side too far.
You think?
Okay, that time it helps. Yeah, that looks better too. Okay, so now my cuts have to go for those barriers. That's why we sort of gave ourselves some extra material here. So my barrier is about 2 inches wide, and it goes, if I feel with my fingers, I can feel either side of it. It's actually right in this area. So before I make a cut, I want to stretch this area out. So the barrier is further over than my brain was thinking. So the next staple I want to do is these ditches in the arms right here. See what that holds into place. Those are also temporary staples. So for those of you watching a temporary staple, instead of going down flat, you tip the gun up so that there's a gap under the staple when you're done. So let's get these guys straight next.
Trying to go for an ounce of prevention here.
Ounce of prevention? is
Ounce
what
of
you said?
prevention. Is it charging? Let's see if that helps.
So here, I've got my center locked in, and now I want to pull up and out on this corner to stretch between these two distances with the goal of trying to get this line nice and straight. So you might see that you can like pull it over. Is that looking straight? It's looking tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I put a temporary staple back here. I'm gonna do it into the welt because that's the strongest part, and less important if there's like a little hole damaged in it.
Oh, especially with this fabric too.
So now I've got to start bringing this way, keeping this line nice and straight. The staple came out again. That's done. Ah. I don't know what's I think it must be going in a crack, like a seam of the wood, so it's not biting into the actual wood. It's in the wood now.
Did you get it?
I did. Got it good. Okay.
Doesn't like this charger.
It doesn't like the white one? Yeah.
Well, although
It's
I
not
don't know
strong.
if this.
It's not a fast charger, so it's not strong enough to hold. So, Instagram, unfortunately, that means you are about to die. So
No, we got 15%, so
Okay.
there's a possibility.
you might get 20 minutes or so, but if you lose connection on Instagram, you can hop over to TikTok. This is the next part that I want to do. In the picture that I took originally, these were like straight across, kind of 90 angle. It's looking good to me. Are they looking even?
That one needs to come down.
I just punched myself in the face. Come down this way.
Yeah, where it's connected to the up and down well, that's a higher spot than this one is. That one's kind of at an angle, where this one goes
Oh, well,
straight.
this one hasn't been pulled into place yet.
Oh,
either.
okay.
This one hasn't.
But it still is, that intersection is definitely like an inch higher on the right than it is on the left.
Let me see. So that. Oh, this is also not in place.
Oh,
What would I do without you?
better?
A little bit. Cool my brain a little bit.
I know.
These things are still gonna be good. I like to have two ones sometimes, one on each side.
Yeah, right? So you don't have to like
I'm not walking around the
fight with the hose.
Does that change anything?
Let me look at that.
Line?
That's almost there.
Needs to go higher.
Yeah. It's still not the same.
Is it there? Ooh. Where?
Well,
Where? That's that bottom part.
that's the bottom. So now,
I gotta get the bottom part.
get the
back
bottom
here.
back in.
But this was too high? Or?
Yeah, it was too high.
Oh, so and I was pulling it higher.
Wait,
So, yeah, I was pulling it up.
no, it was too low. Sorry,
It was too low.
it was too low.
Does that look right?
A little higher. Yeah,
It's also gonna get pulled higher.
yeah, that looks better.
Okay. That's looking good.
Yeah.
So when I pull this, I'm not just pulling straight, but see all of this
Yeah, you
stuff
pull
here?
out.
I gotta get that out too. How's that look good? I can get this out in the curve,
Yeah.
but is the line straight?
Let me hold it because I don't think.
Yeah, you hold that. Hold it tight. None of these guys are at the right angle for this.
Oh gosh.
So they can't.
Sorry.
That's okay. They can't see the welt from this far away.
Yeah, the welt doesn't show up very.
Oh, I can see. Good. Oh, look at her. She's a little cutie. Yeah, I think that looks. You should go ahead and put yourself a temporary staple in there while you're back there. That looks
It
good.
didn't work. Did you put it straight through the welt?
Yeah, but temporary. Like kind of around the welt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's looking good. You see how I
Alright,
did
check
that,
again,
guys?
'cause I
Now
just let it
Lisa
go.
is doing it. Yeah, that's looking good to me.
Looks good.
Great. So now we can do the arms. The ditches and the arms. When this comes across and pull straight. I need this to be able to straighten out when I do this, but this is all got to come over to the back of the frame. I'm very encouraged by this.
That looks
This is looking so
gonna
good.
get there.
Once the front goes on, the rest of this I could do
It's
with my
like
goddamn
easy.
sleeve.
I know. This is just the part that's like,
This is the part that makes you want to cry.
right?
So I do realize that this is kind of pulling this line out of skew. We do have a lot more pull that comes on both of these sides.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do to try and keep those lines straight. But another thing I wanted to keep in mind is consistency. So if those lines go up and out here, as
Then
long
you
as
go
it does
up
the same thing on
On the
this
other side, yeah, you're good, right?
But I did make this to those for those lines to go straight. So that's the goal today. So
Today
how
is
many-
not a one-on-one class. I'm
No.
here just assisting.
Yep, today is me doing this and Lisa assisting with camera angles and questions and a staple or two here and there. So now this is how many staples we've got in here. 2 here, 1 here, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. Before we've done any cutting, before we've put
Right.
all of the staples in, because we want to stretch this out evenly first before we go trigger happy with the staples and we end up having to pull everything out. How many times have you seen me do this and
Right.
redo it and do
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
I have 12 years experience. So every time I have a student do one of these shapes, they're always like, oh, I keep having to take out staples and put them back in. I'm like, yes, this is the job.
This is how
That's
it works.
How it's done.
Yes.
So don't feel bad if you have to keep doing it, redoing it, doing it, redoing it, because it's all, look at that.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Marjorie, we are located in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is 40 minutes from Detroit, but it's only 20 minutes from the Metro Detroit Airport. So even if you're not close by, you can come in for a weekend.
Yeah. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday are my regularly scheduled classes. If you come on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, they're 3-hour classes. Each class is $75, and all my classes are buy 3 get 1 free. So you can take that 4-day weekend and do it for $225. If you bring a friend, you can bring a friend free, and the whole weekend is a little over $100 for each of you, and you can make a whole weekend of it. Come to the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday class. This weekend I have no classes. It's my middle child's 16th birthday.
Oh, nice.
But
Is the welt a pull spot and an anchor spot?
this welt is,
This
but
welt.
not always the case. This welt is because it has to land in very specific areas on the chair, where the reason for this chair being sewn in several pieces is to fit this curve and meet this curve. If I were to try to do this with one piece of fabric not tailored to fit this, it would not hit the back of this. It would just straighten itself out. So the welt in here is all strategically placed to go where it is supposed to go, but that's not always the case. It's
Kind of
welt
depends.
has a lot of different functions. So I've got my staples in, holding it. I need to stretch these arms out now, and this is where I'm going to have to start making cuts back here, as well as making cuts so that these go through the pull-through spot. So this is going to start to get exciting now that we have everything in the right place.
Yes.
So-
You got 30 minutes, girl.
Oh, good. We could do this in 30 minutes. So first, I need to stretch this out. You can see all of these wrinkles right here. When I pull this, it stretches this out. This is going to give me some wrinkles up in this area. These all have to be able to pull out when I pull this way, in this direction. But these wrinkles here are all culminating to one place, and what does that tell you?
That you need a relief cut.
Relief cut, so
Yes.
that this material that wants to come this way can relieve itself from this area and come this way and stretch, so that I can stretch this across this way. So for the sake of what we're doing here, what I need to do on this side is get this line straight across. I can do that by pulling here, and to straighten up the surface of this area and make it nice and smooth. See how that smooths everything out? From this corner down here across this surface, when I pull this bottom spot and this top spot, that whole thing stretches out. So I'm gonna put a temporary staple here, and I'm gonna put another one at the top here to hold that into place so it doesn't move. That one is there. I'm gonna come back to the top here. I'm going to use this wiping motion to move everything from the side. You heard that, that's a staple, because it's like, I need to cut, I need someone to cut me. So we're gonna pull that this way and give this a little tug from this side, drop a temporary staple in here. These will, almost all these staples will likely have to be removed before we put in all of the staples. If we don't, then we just hammer them in.
Right.
Because they're just sticking out a little bit. So we're gonna leave that there, and we're gonna do the same thing to the other side so that it's symmetrical. So if I'm pulling and I pull this out of whack somewhere, if I can't make it look same exact on that side, then I did something wrong. I pulled it too far in one direction or the other. So I do it symmetrically. So my next move is to do the same thing on this side. Should definitely get some like yoga mats for the floor.
That would be a great idea.
In the shop, when we get our dedicated space, I'm gonna have like barber chair bases.
I know you showed me
For
those.
the chair salon, girl.
Yes,
So
we're
just
opening a chair salon.
barber chair bases and Lazy Susan tops, so that the Lazy Susan sets on top of the base.
Yeah.
And you can make it go up and down, and you can make it
Spin it
in a
around.
circle.
Perfect.
That's what we're opening up a chair salon. That was not a temporary staple.
That was not. Ooh, she's living on the edge.
I'm living on the edge. So now is where I am going to, first before I do this, I'm going to do these corners up here, and then I'm going to make the cuts down here, and then we're going to make cuts here. I don't want to cut. This is like my scariest area to cut. I don't know why. It actually doesn't seem very scary to me today, but
You're so funny.
but I'm always scared. I just
Well, it's always scary.
I've been doing this for years, and I have not done a project once that I wasn't scared of. So I'm just making sure my seam is flat before I lock this into place with a staple. We lost Lisa's staple,
Oh, my staple came out.
but that's good. It's better than it messing us up. And wrapped around these legs. There we go.
Oh, one more. Okay, we definitely need a picture of me like managing the cords and the
This
cameras.
camera situation.
Yes, because they're all over the place. It's hilarious.
That's really funny. Okay, so now we're working on this part of the line right here, and this part of the wing, and I am like not even able to pull this wrinkle out, which tells me that this staple could be in the wrong place because I can't even grip this, pull it out. I should be able to pull from this corner,
Pull up and
stretch it,
Yep.
and stretch everything out, but this is locking it into place. So.
Caitlin wants to know how you got into upholstery.
Well, when trading spaces started.
When trading spaces.
First of all, trading spaces. No,
That's
so
what got us all into a lot of
trading
craziness.
spaces what got me into doing like home decor stuff for myself. I was 9 months pregnant with my youngest, who is 11 now, so it was about 12 years ago when I did my first upholstery project. Because my dogs ate my chairs that I just got from the thrift store. They were blue velvet, deep button tufted wingback chairs, that they were in perfect condition. I have a staple remover somewhere because I do not have one near me. And my dogs ate them, and I was 9 months pregnant and nesting, so I had to do them right then and there. I had to redo them. Spent the last of our money on them. My husband was pissed because he's like, "You don't even know what you're doing. That's the last of our money." But when I was done, we were both like, "Holy shit! I just upholstered a whole ass chair, and it doesn't look bad."
And it worked.
And it worked.
What the heck?
It wasn't great, but it looked fine, and everybody who saw it was like, "Holy shit! You just upholstered a wingback chair," and then wanted me to do stuff for them. And that's how I accidentally started a business, because people just kept asking, "Hey, can I pay you to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And within 5 months of doing that, my husband quit his job to help me pull staples. That's how busy we were. So I'm going to focus on getting this over.
So the way I got into it is I have some furniture at home that I would like to reupholster because it's really ugly. But I like the pieces because they fit where I need them and they're comfy. And the miracle of Instagram. So if you guys can go tap, tap, tap. It's also all social media. It doesn't matter what platform you're on.
Facebook, TikTok.
I probably said it out loud in front of my phone, and then look who showed up on my phone. Miss Kim here. So I took a class, thought it was fun. I went home, and I started on a cheap piece that I got from Facebook Marketplace because I didn't want to ruin something that I loved. And but after I did it, I came home and started tearing open a chair in front of my husband. And he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I'm gonna do this. And then he got interested, and now we have Ramsey House Upholstery. So the two of us are doing upholstery together.
It's so cute. It's the cutest thing. My husband and I did it together too, so I'm all about husband-wife partnerships in this. And
It's amazing.
just think of having a family business.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
Let's see. Sue wants to know if you have saved tutorials on starting. So
I
how?
work on different projects every week. Every single week I'm working on something new. Every Tuesday I do a tutorial on whatever it is I'm working. I do live here on TikTok and now Instagram we've included today. And then I take these live replays and I put them on YouTube. So you can watch the whole thing. They're like 5 hours long. I don't have the time and energy to chop that up into digestible tutorials for you, but there are a lot of things that we're working on to make the education more accessible. One, I have in-person workshops that you can come out here on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I have virtual workshops over Zoom where you can work with me with your project on Monday nights and Saturday evenings. Those are 3 hours long too. I have upholstery camps where you can come here. And then I also have a group on Facebook called the Local Upholstery Club, which is free. You can join that group, and if you're working on a project and you need help with something, you can post about it, tag me in it, and I'll do my best to answer. I have a lot of recordings in that group from the years that I've been doing this, so you can search like how to tie springs, deep button tufting, all that stuff that I've done before has been recorded and put into these groups. But it has not been cataloged and saved and made easy for you to digest. But if you follow along every single week, you're going to learn something new. Because we do it over and over and over again.
Right.
I don't only tie springs once, I do it several times.
Right,
I had to tie springs for this chair, I had to tie springs for that chair. Almost every chair I do has springs in it. How are my lines looking? That one looks straight.
That one,
ish.
it makes
Maybe pulled
the
over
right one
too
makes
far
a
on the
turn at
arm.
the welt, where the left one just goes straight down. You see what I mean? It feels like it turns a tiny bit in at the bottom.
Oh,
right side?
it's going around a curve. Yeah, the arm hasn't been pulled yet. The
Okay.
arm has been pulled on that
Okay.
one, but not on that one. So that's good.
So it
So
looks
you
good.
think it's just the bottom that needs
I
to
think
be
it's just the
straightened out?
bottom. Yeah.
Oh, it has been pulled in that area. So that might be pulled too far in
Oh,
that
April.
area.
April says hi.
Hi, April. Is that Monday class, April?
Is that Monday class,
We have
April?
a Monday's student.
I don't know. Her tag is Lucky Peach 71, so I'm not sure. Yes, it is. It's Monday class.
I'm not sure yet.
Hi, April.
So we have a lot of regulars, and April was one of my Monday regulars. She's learned how to do this to make money off of it too.
You can do it, April.
How's your mom, April? I hope she's doing okay. Taking this staple out because that was the one that showed
Is
that
that the
it
one that was
coming in
making
too
the
far.
issue? There you
I
go.
think so. How's that looking now?
Yeah, that looks better. Yep.
Both staples came out. I'm gonna leave
Yay,
those
her
in.
mom's doing great, getting out of the hospital today. Yay, April's mom. I don't know her name.
I don't know her name either. Okay, so I took these two staples out because they won't stay, and that's fine. I don't need them to stay. I just needed them to hold them in place while we made cuts. So now we can make cuts. So what I'm cutting for? These, remember?
Yes.
So I'm making a Y cut for this. I'm going to show you guys what that looks like visually on the back here, so you know what I'm cutting for, because you can't see these in the front where I can see it. But I'm going to make a line on my fabric that goes straight for the middle of this chair. And then right about like few finger widths away from the edge, I'm going to make a mark, and then I'm going to draw a line from that mark to this corner, and then from that mark to this corner, and then I'm going to cut down that line, cut for that side, and that's going to give me the relief cut I need to get around this barrier. That looks different on the front because you can't see the barrier. I do need this middle part to come down the middle. I want to see if I can pull this through the middle and still see to make the cut. Usually you cannot. But this is, yeah, I'm not going to risk that either. I'm just going to hold these stretched out as I can and hold it in place while I cut. So I have to feel with my hands for that whole ass arm, both sides, and this comes to the middle of it. And that's great because I don't really want to cross that seam in any way. So I just need this fabric to lay flat in front of that. This is my pull fabric. I'm going to cut. It's nervous for me too, you guys. Through to the center, and I'm gonna stop about, I use like 2-3 fingers away from the edge of the phone. That's where I'm gonna stop before I start going in the other direction. Now I'm gonna feel back through here again to see where those edges are. I can feel them with my fingers right there. These cuts are going for that edge, but I'm not going to cross the seam because I don't want that to come unraveled. So you can always cut more, you can't cut less. So I'm going to do this a little bit at a time. This little bit will tuck under and finish around that leg, while the rest of it is able to tuck through the sides. But that's not the only cut I need to make. I also need to make the same cut for this barrier right here. I need a Y cut for this so that that piece of that flap that I just made comes through this area. So this I'm holding in place because it is no longer stapled there, so that I know that it stays there. This is all nice and tight, how I made it when I stapled it in place. I'm gonna pre-tuck this into the arm this way just by shoving that fold in there, and that's gonna make sure that I don't cut it too far. I'm going to put my fingers in here so that I can feel where that barrier is. Each side of it is here. I'm cutting straight for the center of that barrier. You can use something to mark this if you want before you cut. I'm going to stop about 2 finger widths away from the edge of the foam, and then I'm going to cut towards one edge of that leg and then the other edge of that leg without crossing the seam. I do know that I'm going to have to go almost all the way to that seam part
To where the
really folded in there.
The real fabric and the pull fabric come together.
So I was tucked too far in there. So I'm right here. I need, pretend we're still going down the center here. This one is going off to the left side of that leg, almost all the way to the frame actually. And this one's gonna go to the right side. Instead of going on an angle, I'm just cutting straight for that leg. I know I need to make it longer.
Can you pull that forward just to show them what that looks like?
Yeah.
How you cut it?
So this
There
is
you
your
go.
Y cut. It looks like this, the letter Y, and then it opens up like this. This little piece is gonna fold, and actually I can take this almost all the way up to that seam. I knew it. I'm gonna go straight, not wider. And this cleans up around that leg so that this piece can come around in this direction, and this whole piece is gonna save my life right now.
Yep.
This is what is going to, I'll show you. Oh. This is how professionals work.
Crawling around on the floor.
Crawling around on the floor.
Trying not to drop
so
a
now
camera.
when I pull this,
Let's come around here so we can see this.
it's going to straighten out this whole area.
Sorry, you guys. I am trying hard with
You're
this
doing great.
camera.
So this should be almost the exact same width as that opening. Ours is a little wider because we put pleats in our fabric, so it's there's extra fabric here.
Yes.
We did that on purpose because we need to match that curve. So this should be the same exact width coming out. If it's shorter, you might see on the front that you've cut too much, or not enough, or that you cut it in the wrong place. And those are all just part of the game.
Things that happen.
So I'm pulling this, I'm watching this line, pulling this down straight. I'm going to hold this in place before I get to the other side to hold that in place. That's looking normal.
So even with the charger, we have 5% on this.
Yeah, the charger is not gonna hold forever. Okay, so I've got that centered on the leg.
Just so you know.
Which one is dying?
TikTok.
TikTok. All right, TikTok, you're about to lose it.
Yep. Let's see where Instagram is.
Instagram's probably close.
They're still at
too.
13.
Oh, great.
So
So they're not losing power.
you're not losing power.
So now I need to do the same thing here, which is straight cut for the center of that leg.
And Cane Co, before we, if in case it happens, yes, we are repurposing used furniture.
Yes.
And it's fun because it could be your grandma's piece. It could be something that you found on the side of the road that somebody thought wasn't good and you picked it up off the curb. Finds things on Marketplace. It's a great place to source pieces that are solid but just need some love with some fabric and foam.
So I have another flap free and ready to go. That's the main one. That's gonna help hold that shape. So watch what happens in the front when I pull the centerpiece.
Oh, hang on, let me get them so they can see what's happening.
It's gonna
Oh, look at
straighten
that.
out and pull all of that nice and taut. Is it straight?
I'm not leaving you out on Instagram. We're coming back.
How's it looking?
That looks good. There's a tiny little crease right in the center at the bottom.
Ooh, I see it. It's just like, so that hasn't stretched out to the side yet.
Okay.
So that'll pull. But you can see how that's now starting to hold its shape. Same here when I pull this.
Yeah.
That holds the shape of the arm. All of that's going to get pulled tighter. The last cut I got to make is this one for this arm, which is just another Y cut for that barrier, which is right here. And on some of my videos on YouTube, I draw out the Y cut so you can really visualize it. We're trying to work through this quickly today, so you just get to eyeball it. So I'm cutting for one side of the leg, and then the other without crossing the seam because it will come unraveled and you don't want that. This little Y part will fold up and hide away. This flap will go through the chair. So now I've got all of these flaps coming through the chair that I can pull
To tighten that.
and tighten everything in place. So the first one I want to do is the center because that's the most important part I want to lock down. I have the center marked here and I do not have a center mark on the bottom of this. Do we have a
Tape.
measuring tape and a marker?
Yep. Tape.
Oh, thank you. It's very hot this morning. So I'm going to measure for the center mark. I can see this is definitely a carpenter made that in the center. I can't be for sure, and humans made it, so it might not be perfect, but I can't assume that. I've got 16.5 inches, so we're going to go at 8 1/4. I did have a dot there. I was looking at. So this is my center in the back. So this is, as long as I keep my center here lined up with it, even if my pattern is on crooked right now in this moment, I'll be able to take the very few staples that we've put in this out so that I can go and straighten that up and make it nice and tight. That's what the temporary staples are for. So I am pulling this pretty taut, like pretty tight. It feels pretty tight. And then I'm going to put a staple here.
Stapler.
What's up here? Scalpel.
Scalpel.
Thank you. I'm going to put a staple here on the top, temporary, because I might need to take it out. I'm going to double check the front of that, see what that looks like. I'm encouraged by the straight line going up and down because that means that that straight line can be pulled out side to side. If it was a line that was going left to right, it means that the fabric is going too far in
One
that
direction. Gotcha.
And then it wants to straighten out. So that straight one is going to straighten out when I stretch everything out to the side here. See how that pulled out? So both sides of these have to get pulled in the same manner. So my next one that I'm gonna tighten up, I'm gonna do that top one again. Because now we're starting to lock this in for real.
For realsies?
Realsies. So the next one I'm gonna do is this top one again, because this is coming away from here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do these ones too. So all three of these are gonna come out now. I'm gonna do a
What are you looking for now?
staple remover.
Here.
Thank you, ma'am. So these temporary staples can come out. Pliers.
Pliers, I just saw 'em.
This temporary staple can come out.
Oh, they're hiding in the chair.
Perfect. Don't ruin your fabric at this stage because you don't have enough to do it all over again.
That's right.
But I do know where the center of this is because I made a notch. And now I can pull this nice and taut as I'm going to want it for the finished result. Oh, he gave me those for a reason. My center mark here, my notch right there. Make this as taut as I can. I think the arms are actually pulling that away from the sides, so I might have to do those next.
Stapler again?
Yeah, man, it's so far away. It's because it's not on the.
It's not on the thing.
It's not on them, but I'm still using them. So I think that the wing staples are pulling in too tight. So I'm gonna undo those next. See this part right here? It's not touching
Oh, the
back.
batting?
So it's being pulled too tight in this area. It's pulling it away,
that welt?
away from the bone. So yeah, this welt now has to go, or that piece. Now that we have our cuts, that's how we know it's gonna set.
Right.
So that's why we use temporary staples up into this point. So this is going to allow that to relax back down to the foam where it goes.
Bye, April.
Bye, April.
We do not do this daily. Kim does this on Tuesdays.
Tutorial Tuesdays.
Tutorial Tuesdays.
So-
Thanks, Carly.
This is the next area. I gotta pull this one and this one. It is still being difficult. It's because the fabric's got zero stretch.
Yeah, this is definitely a fabric dilemma.
Fabric dilemma. Okay, that's much better.
It won't beat us. I say us.
See how we're hugging now?
Hmm?
And you gotta do this symmetrically. You can't just work on one side. You gotta go from one side to the other the whole way around. How's that looking welt-wise?
That looks great.
Welt lineup?
Yep.
That was not a temporary staple.
What? Don't tell.
So before I lock anything else down, I'm gonna lock parts of the bottom down. So I have the this one locked in the middle here. I want to do the same thing down in this area where it needs to hold here. So I'm gonna do the middle and the sides of both of these pull-through spots to tighten those areas down. I'm so glad I have you.
I'm glad you're spinning the chair now, because running around behind it was, oh no, you didn't spin the chair this time.
Oh, can you not see it? Are you trying to see?
Do you want to see, what do you want them to see?
I want them
You want
to
to see it
this come
smooth?
together.
Got
yeah.
you. All right.
So this doesn't look cool, and they know I'm pulling on these little
Gotcha.
spots.
Yep.
Oh, see this?
Yes. Nice.
So that I think needs to be cut more if I can. There's not a lot of material left to cut. But this little fold is causing me trouble.
What do you need now?
Scissors.
Scissors.
I'd be in big trouble if. Are we still charging on both of them?
They're still doing okay. They're holding their own.
They're holding their own.
And it's 153.
All right. I'm just going to cut up this fold so that one piece of this fabric can go in that direction and the rest of this fabric can go on the other, and then this just has to complete that V. So all of this material
All right, I'm
goes
going to bring
in
them over
front
to
of
show
that
them what it
leg.
is that you're doing right there.
And it just gets folded under. Like this is not gonna tuck through the back of the chair, it's just gonna tuck in that area where the leg is. And the rest of this is gonna come through. So this hide wrap, I don't wanna see any of that pink fabric. We went to great detail to hide it. And then I can start pulling this side in. So what happens when I do this? Is it doing it?
Yes.
Is it working?
Is it working? It looks like it's working.
And so then I need to know, can I pull, see how
Yeah,
there's
you need a little
wrinkles
bit
here?
to go to the left
So
or toward you, I guess would be a better description of that.
this here is probably gonna get pulled out when I pull
The front
the
across.
front here. So I am comfortable with locking this down here for a second in the back so that I can test that theory by taking this staple out in the front. Remember when I was like, I didn't put a temporary staple in. The staple, and I need a pair of pliers probably. Gentle, gentle. It's coming together. I can see it. That line's looking great. So now
Yeah.
I can pull this. Look at that.
Nice.
See how smooth that got?
Yeah.
I want to be real careful. This is a lot of extra material that I'm not going to need. So I want to see how much I need first.
Oh, that looks great when
Yeah.
you smooth that under.
And I see how this fold is what I know I'm going to need there. Everything inside that fold can go. So this whole thing can actually
Back to the Y cut.
get cut off right to the seam. This whole pink
Oh,
thing.
to the seam.
I'm not going to cut it into the string. I'm going to cut it right on the other side of that because I
Gotcha.
don't want
They're
to
on the
cross
seat.
the seam.
They're on the seat.
Of course they are. But I am going to cut it because I don't need any of this here. I'm just going to cut it right off. I don't want to cross the seam because I don't want it to unravel. But I don't need to wrestle with that giant piece of fabric either. So now this, any excess can get folded under.
Out of my depths, this is definitely an amazing trade to get into.
Thank you.
Yep.
It is. I agree. You should join me. So
You
I'm here
should.
teaching you so that I can teach you how to be a professional because we don't have enough professionals in this industry. Look at that.
Nice.
She's so cute. But I'm going to lock this one down here. Temporary staple still because we're still going to work out this arm and then we're going to work out a cut that's going to allow this to come through. But this already tightened up.
Yeah, that looks great.
This looks nice. I'm going to put a staple there. Oh my gosh, you guys, we might do this. We might get this in place before we have to get out of here. What time is it?
We are at 1:57.
Oh, no. Oh. Well, we can go a little past 2. I think it would be worth getting this on forever.
Yeah, at least one side, right?
Yeah. At least the front. Because I could go back and forth. It's got to be end at a symmetrical point. So we see these wrinkles now are what I want to get rid of on this side. So this comes over this direction. I always pull up diagonal on these wings when they're like this. And this pull is going to hold a lot of this to it. So I do want to make sure I have enough material that's going to go this way, but it also has to go this way and up this way, all at the same time so that that whole area smooths out. See how pretty that is?
Yes.
So I'm going to put the temporary staple at the top here. I've also, I don't know if you noticed, you did because you've done this before. I'm not just stretching here and across, but up
Yes.
too from this area
From
down
that
here.
point.
So that there is no excess fabric between staples on these sides. And when I use a wide part of my hand to pull, instead of pulling 2 like this, see this little dimple here?
Yeah.
If I grab it with my hand and I pull from a wide spot, I'm getting more surface coverage,
It's a
surface
smoother.
area coverage, and it's a smoother pull, and it makes the shape hang out and stay where it's supposed to.
Yep.
So I actually want to, this part's giving me trouble, so I want to lock that down first. Because this gives me less trouble because I can pull it up from here. So see the smoothing motion?
Mm-hmm.
Getting all of that extra fabric up around the sides. There might be areas like this that you need relief cuts.
Yes.
Especially
You're trying
when it
to
starts to curve.
Yep.
You're going to need to make a relief cut so the fabric will go the way it wants to. And I'm just going to temporarily stable that for now because when I come through to put the real staples in, I'm like every inch like rubbing this
Yeah.
to make sure that it's nice and tight. Look at that. It won't come, but that's the relief cut. Don't forget. That's what the relief cut is for. So
Right.
when I make this relief cut, this fabric, where this line is going to go zoop, and all of this is
Can
going to
come
come
forward.
forward so
Yeah.
it can cover that front.
Show them the moment of panic for just a You didn't panic, but
Yeah,
for a
so
second I panicked.
This is too short.
It's too short.
This doesn't come forward, but that's because this is being trapped over here. So when I go to cut this, this will come forward. I'm not cutting anything yet because I wanted to make both sides look the same first. So I've got my bottom is locked down, and again, I haven't put a million staples in here. I have one staple in the middle, one in the middle here, one in the seam top, one in the seam bottom, one in the seam top, one in the seam bottom, one on this wing, one on this wing, one on each side where the flaps go through, and that's it. Like, we're not putting 100 staples in yet because clearly we're not ready for that. So this side looks good. This is the side I have to get up to speed. And I think we're good up to, we need to pull this side first. So that's what you're watching for me.
We'll just make you crawl around.
So I'm pulling the flap that's in the back here. I'm pulling it back, but I'm also pulling it this way.
Right, so that takes
So it
care of those.
Stretches it
Yep, we
down
just watched it happen. It just went, there was
right into
puckers in
place.
there. Yep,
Yeah.
it went right in.
See this little wrinkle? That should pull when all of this side comes through.
You still have some of the, you can see that extra fabric that you.
Oh, let me see if I can tuck it. We also have another layer of material going on top of this for the deck.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm not putting all the staples in this bottom thing is because that has to come up so I can get the deck fabric on.
Right.
Typically I would do the deck first, but I'm pattern matching this, and the pattern starts here
That's where it
and
begins.
ends at the bottom. So
Yeah.
I'm starting up here and ending here at the bottom.
Gotcha.
I also see this
Did it turn?
it kind of like just curves up. That might not be bad, but it has to look the same on both sides. So I might have to stretch that out
Gotcha.
more on that side. But this is what you're talking about. That little pink. So I just need to fold it under.
Yeah, just tuck it.
Yeah. Okay. So first, this. That's
There.
the inside pull-through spot in the back. That is stapled into place. The next one is this guy, because it goes in this direction. Kind of pulls everything a little bit further over this way.
Oh, Janine, that's cool. You used to do RV upholstery.
Oh, yeah.
For the
I bet
RV
there's big
industry.
money in there.
Yeah.
People with RVs got money for upholstery. Okay.
Now what?
Staple remover, pliers, scissors. All of the above.
All of the above.
It's so hard for me to tell unless I'm standing up in front
I
of
know,
it.
it's really hard
If it's
to
straight.
get a good
It
perspective
does
on
look
it.
at like those top ones might be off. But we'll figure it out.
Where the welt comes in?
We're not going to stop until it's right. I'll tell you that. Well, we'll stop, but we're not going to send it out the door until it's right.
Right.
But we'll definitely stop and take a nap sometime today
That seems like a good plan.
because it's hard work. Oh, look at that.
Yep. Nice.
So this is a lot of extra material, same as last time. We're just going to take it right up to the seam, but we're not going to cross the seam because we don't want it to come unraveled anywhere, cause problems. This is just gonna fold up under, pull everything from this direction out. We're gonna temporary staple it this way. And then this can get removed so that we can watch more magic happen. Oh, I can't damage this fabric, man. I would rather stab myself in the wrist. Okay, so I'm pulling up. Oh, and we didn't lock this one down.
Oh, maybe that's part of the problem.
Or it just came undone.
Did it come out?
I think so. Okay. That feels right.
Yep.
And so this, just like the other side, see how that
Nice,
pulls that
yeah.
whole thing out. I'm going to start here with the centerpiece, because this looks like it's going to have to get moved. See that wrinkle?
Oh, yeah, yep. So it needs a bigger tuck under.
Yep. More material can get rolled under. Hide that right there in the fold. Also worth noting, all this is covered up with a cushion. So when you're just doing this and you're practicing, if you have a tiny little wrinkle right here,
No one's ever going to see it.
no one's ever going to see it. But I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
So there's that. That's looking
Nice.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we are almost to the making me cry part. I'm going to leave it for
There's
a
no
second.
crying. No crying.
Because I want to straighten up these lines, and I'm not convinced that they look the same on both sides.
This is some amazing fabric,
So
isn't
the
it?
top part does go way off to the side too far.
Does it?
So I need this whole, I'm going to have to undo, not these, I think the bottom part looks great, but all of these staples at the top have got to come off.
Mm.
So, or at least, I know this is going to have to go because I have to move it this way. So this is going to hold me in place, and I don't want that. The C one is going to have to go because that's the one that's definitely in the wrong place.
The one that's causing the issue?
And if you're asking if you do this every time, yes, you effing do.
This does happen. Yep.
Because it's hard. It's a hard shape, even for people who've been doing this for over a decade. So if you find yourself removing a lot of staples, don't be hard on yourself because we all do
Because
it.
it's what happens.
That's why we only put a handful in at a time. Just so we get everything in the right place.
What'd
and
you
then we
lose
start
now?
locking it in. My pliers are sitting right next to where I put
Are
them.
they in the...
Oh, they're sitting next to my staple remover. They were already there. I'm just like classically conditioned to look for them after every time
I feel
pull a
like that's...
staple.
Yes. What'd I do with them? What'd I do with them? So I feel like I wander around looking for things a lot. So this last little push here at the end, if you guys...
Yes.
I know that we kind of took a break for a second in the middle there. But if you guys could go tap, tap, tap on your screen and create all those hearts until the little bar across the top. So I'm going to see if I can do this with my finger. Up here, there's going to be a bar. And you want that to go all the way to the side, and then it'll open up a big heart party.
Big heart party.
Yep.
I love it.
Tanya, I am super excited to see this. Finally, someone teaching. Yep, finally.
So.
Tanya sews patterns for chairs.
Oh, good.
Yeah, where are you, Tanya?
Yeah, where are
Let's
you
ask
then?
you this question.
Tanya is
Tanya.
available for hire, you
That's
guys.
right.
You need your shit done. Tanya is gonna get it done. How are those stripes looking?
Oh, at Tanya USA. Where are you located in the USA? Just curious.
Me?
No, Tanya.
Oh, Tanya.
Yeah.
I'm like, where am I located?
I know where you're located.
You're here,
I'm
right
here
now.
with it. Is that better?
I don't know.
It's so hard when you're not like straight on it to get that. Tanya, I totally would work for you and ship to you. She's in Indiana.
Ooh,
Tanya, you need
so
to make
funny you should say that.
you need to make a weekend trip here because you are not that far away.
Yeah, so we're actually putting a team together, and it is a team that can span the world. I don't care.
That's
It's
right.
on
It doesn't matter where you are.
Connect on the internet now. But I've spent the last 2 years training.
Oh, we're in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Oh yeah, we're in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I spent the last 10 years training people how to do professional upholstery, so that one day I could open my business back up and do this again. And after 2 years, I have a handful of students who are ready to start taking on clients, and so I created a team. And we developed a project management system that is like automated and that's going to save us a lot of time and money. And we also want to connect that system to people all over the United States eventually.
Okay,
So-
wait. Tana, you shut up.
You
no,
shut
you
up.
shut up. Where are you moving back to in Michigan? She said shut up.
Shut up.
It's the best state ever. Walk around with a map on your end of your hand.
That's right. Easy directions. How's that look?
It's got a divot right in the center.
Oh yeah, I haven't
but-
pulled everything
okay.
yet, but I'm talking about lines.
Oh, the lines, sorry.
It looks like it could be pulled too tight here.
Yeah, that looks a little tight.
So take that off. And this gets
Oh,
buttons.
she's moving north of here, but she's from Kalamazoo, lived most of her life in Grand Rapids.
Oh,
That's amazing. Well, you need to go check out Kim's website.
Yeah,
Come-
there's links in my bio.
There's
Check it
links in the bio, and then check out, you can do a whole weekend of classes. Buy 3, get 1 free.
out. Oh, that's much better.
Oh, yeah.
Just relax it a little bit.
Yep.
Does that look okay?
Yes,
Is that working?
I think so.
Oh, I think we're ready to cut. Mm.
It's when you start making the dinosaur noise.
Tina knows. You watch Bob's Burgers.
No. the
That's our
T-Rex.
favorite family show. And Tina has they all have anxiety. I think they all have a little bit of autism too, but they all have immense anxiety. And when Tina is anxious, she just goes, and that's exactly what I do. If you ever hear me go, indefinitely, thinking about something stressful.
We are in Michigan, in Ann Arbor, which is about 40 minutes from Detroit. We're only about 20 minutes from the airport out here, so it's super easy, even if you're coming in from farther away.
No.
Oh, your live video is done on Instagram.
Oh yeah, they
It
have
just
a time
turns you
limit.
off.
They get a time limit.
Well, you TikTokers are lucky.
Lucky.
Instagram.
Well, something is making it difficult for me to stretch this area. My guess is.
Well, this fabric
Oh look,
was selected by
client.
the client, so we love it.
We do actually.
It's
yeah.
I do love the fabric. I think it's beautiful,
It's
but
not fun to work with.
yeah,
very
it's a
hard
little
to
bit
work
of
with.
tough.
But I think we're working it out. So this is gonna give me some trouble. It's stretch, but I think steam is gonna help that too. Okay, I'm ready to make an effing cut.
Oh, you do upholstery in Pontiac?
Ooh, that's not far.
That's not far at all. Come visit.
Come visit for sure. We do weekend classes. Even if
Yeah.
you know what you're doing, it's a fun class to take with a bunch of people.
You didn't know there are other ladies that did too. It's been a big secret. We're trying to spread the word. That's why we're out here doing this.
I've had more than 350 people come through this door in the past 2 years to learn upholstery, and 99% of them have been women, which is great because it's a male-dominated industry.
We're just gonna take it over.
And those dinosaurs aren't teaching us anything. Okay, so I'm gonna cut. I need as much of this material to come this way as possible for coverage. So I'm just gonna cut right up the seam without crossing the seam. I don't want to cut past where my staple line needs to go because I still need to staple all of this.
Yes.
I'm so scared.
You can. You got it.
So I am going to just cut it.
How much are classes?
It's 12 years.
It's buy 3, get 1 free, $225, and you can
No,
also.
hold on. So
Oh wait.
start with the low number.
Start with the low number.
So classes
75.
are $75 each.
Yes.
But they're also buy 3 get 1 free.
Naya, she's going to talk about her virtual classes. You're not too far away.
No, not at all. They're buy 3 get 1 free. I'm going to have to make a couple of different cuts in here because this is going to need to come this way, and I am frozen here. It won't move. I might need to move that staple down.
Do you want me to talk more about classes while your brain works on
talk
that?
more about classes.
All right, so I'm going to talk about the classes. So 70, just to review, one class is $75, but it is buy 3, get 1 free. So for $225, you can take 4 classes. They do not have to be consecutive. But if you're coming in from out of town, she does classes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it's a nice long weekend. You can use your use your 4 classes like that. And then also you can bring a friend for free, right? So the 2 of you can come and work on a piece together, which is super cool. And then just a little over $100 a piece to do that. Plus, if you need to stay somewhere, there's local. Yep, there's a lot of places that are local that you can stay at. Let's see. She also has virtual classes that are live over Zoom, so it's not just recorded classes. You actually interact with her and you can show her what it is that you're doing, and she gives you direction right there in the moment. And then she's got camp coming up in August.
Yep.
We have 3 spots left that are available. It's a whole weekend, Thursday through Monday morning. Is that what it is?
Yep. Thursday afternoon.
Thursday afternoon through Monday morning, and it's 3 full days of upholstery. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you do upholstery. You get gourmet food at the bed and breakfast where you stay. It's chef prepared, beautiful spreads she puts on. I've seen pictures. I'm excited to maybe get to try them this year. And then let's see what else.
You'll be there volunteering this year, so you get the meals too.
That's exciting. Yeah. And then also there's field trips. Did you do it? Did you get it? Yeah, it looks good.
So it's that wrinkle that I was trying to get rid of. I needed to make the cut longer, but I couldn't do it where it was stapled, which tells me that that's not where it's supposed to be.
That's not where the staple should be?
Pinned it in the right spot when I made the pattern. But so I'm like pulling this direction to straighten all this out, and this direction to smooth all of this out.
We are located in Ann Arbor, Michigan. 20 minutes from Metro Detroit Airport, 40 minutes from Detroit. So that's usually the thing that people know the best is where Detroit is.
It's right about here.
That's right. Yes, right about there. Southeast Michigan. Oh, and also with the camp in August, she takes field trips on the first day to the most amazing fabric place that you've ever been in your life. It'll be like a fantasy. It's called Discount Fabric Outlet, and they have end runs and overruns of designer upholstery fabric at a heavy discount there.
It's like $10 a yard.
Yeah, it's like $10 a yard. So yeah, you can.
We field trip to Discount Fabric Outlet,
And then
which is the discount
Haberman's,
one. And
yes.
we just go to Haberman's, which is high-end upholstery fabric, which you would have to order. They do have some stuff on hand there, but for the most part, you got to order it. And they give us a lesson on how to choose the right upholstery fabrics.
Kim, did you know Jack White started out as an upholsterer in Detroit?
I did.
I didn't.
Third Man Upholstery.
Also, I don't know
He's
who
in
Jack White
Kentucky
is.
now. He still does upholstery.
He does?
Yeah.
Is his company Third Man Upholstery? Is that what you?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll have to look him up.
See this tiny little wrinkle here that is like tiny,
Yeah.
no one can see it.
Yeah.
When I pull this way, I'll get that out.
Ooh, gotcha.
Gone. But it's going to be there while I drop these staples in.
I'm supposed to tell you that Coco Honey Pie said hi.
Hello.
And also House of Nambili said, hey folks. Hi
Hey,
there.
folks.
I'm doing my best to pronounce things. Sometimes these handles on TikTok and Instagram are a little tough.
Well, you never even I started saying loco on my videos because when I hear people, like if I go into someone else's live or we're like mutual friends on TikTok, they'll say like, "Oh hi, Luco." They say Luco.
Luco.
Yeah. Well, there's my logo is intentionally like obfuscated, like it's intentionally looks weird because I want people to be like, "What it is?"
What does that say?
Yeah.
Nice.
It works every time. But so I realized that people don't know how to say
Got
loco,
you.
so I have to say it all the time, and I think that's probably true for everybody.
Well, Instagram and everybody spells my name wrong when I use captions. But I found out that you can edit captions on
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
I went in and took that. Let's see. Are the classes bring your own furniture?
Yeah.
Yes, they are. You can bring whatever it is that you'd like.
Well, it's got to fit in a 4 foot by 4 foot.
Oh, it has to. Oh, that's right. Sorry, I forgot about that. We only have so much space in this room, so 4 by 4 foot space. So don't bring your giant couch.
Yes.
Start with a chair, and then
Unless
you'll
you're
know.
buying 2 spots. I mean,
You could buy 2 spots.
multiple spots.
That's also. Oh, Nambilly. Okay. I'm learning how to pronounce everything. Everybody's putting it in there phonetically for me. Let's see. Nice, Kate. Starting to upholster your first chair. Let's see. Do you need a chiropractor? Dr. Andrew at Steadfast Chiro.
Do you want to trade services? Because I absolutely effing do.
Oh my gosh.
I do need a chiropractor when you do this business.
She wants to know, Virginia wants to know if you have any furniture that they can work on.
I do. So
She
if
does.
you're coming here for classes or camp, if you're coming for camp, the furniture is provided if you can't bring something. Because if you're flying in, it's hard to bring a piece of furniture with you. So I have a piece that you can work on while you're here. If you finish it, I'll even put it on my website and sell it. You'll get a little bit of profit off of it. That's a bonus. If you're coming for a class and you need a piece to work on, I have a storage unit full of furniture that you can choose from, but you will have to purchase it from me.
Let's see. House of Nambilly said thank you for your NUA workshop last week. Very helpful.
Thank you for joining.
Yes, nice to have you here.
I did a webinar with the National Upholstery Association last week on Tuesday instead of doing this. So now we're doing it.
There you go.
Now I have to put more staples in to make sure that this gets nice and taut. So when I'm pulling this over, using the broad side of my hand, the widest part of my hand to tug this so that I don't tug a short spot, so that I can flatten out this line. This is the shape I want to keep, and I'm going to check it from all angles as I pull and start to put staples in to make sure it stays in place. For now, right on this curve is the one place I want to lock it down first.
We are in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
And I'm putting real staples in now.
Real staples. Woo! It calls for some hearts.
This
So
is
if you're
it.
on here, tap your screen. Tap, 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 tap.
This is in place. So I have staples up here. I have a staple here. I have a staple here. And now I can fill in these gaps. I'm going to come back to this curvy area later because I have to put some pleats in it. Maybe. I actually think
Yeah.
I can pull the pleats out. I'd love for there to be no pleats there.
Would
I'd
be
love for it
nice.
to be smooth. So I'm going to work my way from these staples down to this staple by
Gotcha.
holding this area nice and smooth. Because this is like a wrinkly area I'm trying to get out right now.
Yeah.
So that's what this pull is about. So once I have it in place, I can hold it with my hand, and I'm following. You can't see it because it's covered up. I can feel the frame. I'm following this edge of the frame. I'm about a little more than ½ inch, maybe an inch inside the edge of that frame, and I'm putting all of my staples at a diagonal angle, because it covers more surface area, which is going to prevent this fabric from fraying out over time. And it helps hold it flatter in place. And it prevents this from, if I were to staple straight staples, the tension that's pulling here is going to pull the excess fabric this way too. And that can make that look lumpy underneath, and you don't want
lumps.
a lumpy chair.
No.
So
That's what we're doing this for, because it probably was lumpy before.
Okay, so now, well, it was just old.
Right.
We need a new upholstery. So now I'm just gonna, I need new staples.
You need more staples?
Yeah, I'm out of staples.
All right, hang on.
Follow that edge down to just where that staple is, and then I can start stapling around this side. Any excess fabric can get cut off, but we do want to leave a little bit because this will fray eventually. Oh, I had staples.
That's weird.
I might need oil in my machine. These are the cheaper staples, the cheaper staple gun.
Oh, yeah.
Can you give me one of the Bias?
Yep.
And the only difference I notice in these from the Bias is that they have to be oiled more frequently.
You okay with the short nose?
Yeah, I don't need long nose for any reason. But if you do invest in a stapler, first one you should invest in is a long nose, because there are going to be areas on some pieces where you need a long nose, and if you don't have one, you're going to get stuck. You're not going to be able to do it.
Yep.
Oh, also, is my air compressor on?
Oh, that's another good. Maybe that's more the issue.
That also could be the issue. If it's on, plugged in, all that stuff I need, so I need a water break.
Plugged in.
It should be flipped towards you.
Should be flipped towards me.
There's a little red lever.
I'm looking. Here we go. Yep, it's towards me.
Is this turned up?
Good question.
It is, okay. So it says the air is on.
60. It's it.
So it's got pressure?
75.
Okay, good. Alright, so I went from here to here, and I'm going to go from here up. I always work my way from the center up because it works excess material down. There are areas where you can lose that and areas where you can't gain it. So I want any excess material from here to end up in these folds. So that's why I'm working my way from this up to the fold. So, halfway between this last staple here and the staple, or the right before it curves here, is where I'm going to pull so that I can straighten this out. I'm checking the front, making sure that stays straight, making sure this pulls up, and
So-
watching this shape the whole time.
Yeah. This fabric is discontinued. Kim was able to find it with a reverse Google search. If you've never done that before, you take a picture and then search it through Google, and it will go find
find
images.
images just
It looks for images that are the similar or the same.
5 years ago, it was not that accurate. Just 5 years ago, it was like things that kind of had the same
Kind of
colors
look
and
the same.
shapes.
Yeah.
AI has improved so much. In 5 years, you're not going to recognize this world. Like,
Yeah.
in 5 years, there's going to be so much stuff between quantum computing and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is only as good as the processing power of existing computers, which has reached its max.
Oh,
Like,
so we need to up our computer
so they've
ability.
been working on quantum computing, and it's not available for public consumption. They
Not
haven't
yet.
even, they don't even know what they're doing yet. But that's the new goal, and like this, like a modern computer,
Yeah.
I'm like saying words that I don't 100% understand, but my knowledge of
that.
what, my understanding of it.
Yes.
So I'm going to make up an equation, but there is an equation, I can't remember the name of it, that takes modern day computers like 40,000 years to do. And the existing quantum computers, it takes like 0.004 seconds or something for it to do.
Holy smokes.
So it processes information at a much faster rate. So when we think about going from like dial-up to broadband or Wi-Fi, like that
I know.
speed
Can you
was
imagine
crazy,
like
but
the
this is,
change
like,
that we're gonna see in
Yeah.
our lifetime?
our kids will.
No idea.
I have no idea.
No.
So I lock this one down the center, and I'm going to do the same thing, work my way from the center here, because I can lose that excess material in this area, and then from the center here, because I can lose that excess material by taking that staple out and pushing everything that way. So from here to here, I can pull this material, watch this shape, make sure everything stays, and then I'm following. I have a line of foam that I've already put in here.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm following that line. I can feel it with my hands, but you can't see it with your computer eyes. But I can also feel it with my gun.
Yeah, there's a lot of touch things that
Yeah.
use
Here you see I just put my hand on it. That's because I can feel that
You can just
ledge
follow.
better.
Yep.
So here, I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to do this wiping motion. And you can see there's like excess fabric.
It is
happening.
beautiful. Thanks, Misty.
Thank you so much.
Keep hitting the tap on your screen to create those hearts. That's what helps spread all this info out to the universe.
So these are all permanent staples. I did it. These are all permanent staples.
You didn't even cry. Good job.
I didn't cry.
Told you it wasn't going to happen.
Well,
I know.
haven't
Sometimes it
finished.
does. You never know.
we haven't finished it yet. Now I can do these permanent staples, and I can get that into a tighter place, I think. This actually looks good.
That looks
down
really
here.
good.
This can go harder, I think.
Quit putting them away.
I know. Like, how did it even get up there? When's the
I
last
don't
time
know.
I stood up?
Yeah, you've been sitting on the floor for how
Whoever
long?
knows. See this little guy? Ready? Magic, magic.
Boop.
But I also want to make sure this stays nice and smooth. Now on their other chair, this fabric went around and they just pleated it up here, but I'm putting a cap on
Are you going to put a cap on the front?
Yeah. I didn't like the way that it looked.
That's also the beauty of doing this is you can change what it looks like.
Yeah, do whatever you want. If you do it without permission, then they just
I know. I love the one that you cut the top of the back of it off so that the ones for the dining chairs, the two armchairs,
Oh yeah.
how you change the whole shape
The
of the
shape,
top.
because it was like a scroll.
It was like a weird
scroll
scroll thing, yeah.
and it looked much more modern.
It looked much more modern.
So that had that extra pink material. Oh, that came right out of there. Right.
She's gonna love this.
She's gonna love it. Okay. Look at her. So
Nice.
this I don't need to staple yet because I still have material that has to come through this. So this is something that I can
Adjust
I
later.
can adjust and tighten and make it like look much nicer and tighter later on. So now I can make this whole thing permanent staples. So I'm pulling between this staple and the center staple that I put there, and I'm making that nice and flat, following the edge of the frame there, and keeping all of my staples diagonal because it creates a nice flat spot, which makes it a much cleaner look when you go to put the cap and everything back on. You don't have a bunch of wrinkled, layered materials there.
Right.
Can't believe we're doing this. Like every time, my whole entire life of upholstery, when we get to this point, I'm like,
I can't believe it's working.
yeah, it's working. So we did get close on the salvage edge here, but everything that shows is covered with a cap.
Okay.
So we are going to end up with some pleats.
On the front?
Yep. And I get argued with this all the time about the direction of pleats on arms. The little dinosaurs tell me that I do it backwards. But
What?
my husband always told me to think about furniture in a way of how our toddlers and drunk people are going to use it.
Let's be practical.
So when you sit in a chair and your hands are on the
Yeah,
arms
you
of the
want
chair,
the
you
pleats to
push
go
out.
out.
Like
Yeah.
I've rubbed arms of chairs before. I rub out. Like I'm like, rubbing the chair. So when you rub out, if your pleats are this way,
You're gonna
you're
catch
going
on
to
it.
rub those pleats out over
Yeah.
time. So I make my pleats fold in this way. And the
Gotcha.
way to make a pleat is we're going to set the standard on this one and we're going to repeat the process over there. Is you start at the bottom here and you're working your way in until it gets to the point where this fabric gathers naturally on its own.
Right.
So I can pull it, staple it, pull it, staple it, and eventually it's going to fold by itself.
Gotcha.
Because that's how it fits around there. So trust that fold and just pull it in.
I'm adjusting for you guys so you can see a little bit better here.
So now you're going to get to another point where that happens again. Like I'm just going to staple and go straight until this starts to fold again, and then it's gonna fold that way.
Nice.
I only have two teeny tiny pleats here.
Two little teeny pleats. That's not bad.
Now we're gonna. So it starts to fold there. Now I can put this down here. Now there's the material, the excess material. Before I overlap this material on all this material and staple it in there, I'm gonna cut that out.
So there's not bulk.
Right, and then I can cut this. It just needs to fold there. So I don't need this. I just need the fold. And then that's gonna come down. I think I still got one more staple I can put here. This will come
There.
down. And then I can staple here. And it looks like I can get all the rest of this fabric
Without.
without it. And I forgot to do a diagonal staple there, so I am going back. I'm sorry for the next person that has to depolster this. It has a cluster of staples there. And so now whatever material comes out over that, I'm going to leave just a little bit. And I'm probably going to put like a no fray on this too, or put a layer of hot glue on that so it doesn't fray over time.
Yes.
Before I close it out. Because this is just,
Because it's just such a fabric that frays, yep.
It's the nature of this fabric. So all that excess material can go away. And that looks incredible.
Nice.
I have a couple more staples to put on that side. We're cutting material.
Whoa.
So now all of this material can also go away.
That. It looks like it's upholstered.
Yep,
Nice.
it's getting there.
It's getting there.
These haven't really been pulled into place in a serious way yet. I will drop a staple in the middle there so it holds it. Looks good.
That looks amazing.
So now we gotta finish up to the top, so we're gonna work our way. Whew, you'll have to turn this around. Is that camera not on anymore?
No, that died.
Okay.
No, Instagram turned us off.
Oh, right. So, now from this center staple here, I'm gonna go in that
That way.
direction.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Hey,
So-
San Francisco Bay.
This is that smoothing motion that we talked about before. You might want to get up on this angle so you can kind of see.
From
Yeah.
this side or on this side?
If you leave like some of these open, you'll be able to just lift up and adjust it.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, get it taller so I want them to watch this shape come together. These lines up here. Because see how it looks all lumpy?
Yep.
And look, this looks tight. This may be too tight. I don't know.
There you go.
We'll see if we can match it. But I have
Hey,
a
San
staple
Francisco
here.
Bay.
I have a staple here and a staple here. I'm going to work my way from here to here in case I have to remove this to move it. And then from here to here, because if I have any excess fabric, I can lose it in the corner.
Gotcha.
So now I just need to match that tension that I have at that middle staple, and I'm going from this staple all the way over. I do want to...
Hey, NC native. Get yourself a pickup truck and throw that couch in the back and come up here for a weekend.
Yeah. You'll have to get 2 spots if it's couch.
You will have to get 2 spots for a couch.
Well, bring a friend free.
But yeah, bring a friend free
So
and get
it's-
extra work.
so
Hey,
it's
Delaware. Oh my gosh, we're all over the place.
So I'm just smoothing. This is like a lot of tension, and this.
We
is
are
good.
in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is about 40 minutes from Metro Detroit, or from Detroit.
While I'm doing this, like working my way over here, I'm watching this line and this shape because it should take the shape of the edge of the frame. There shouldn't be any lumps. I know you can see a lump here because we have this, but I'm working from this area to this area.
Okay.
My hand is here, so I'm working from the last staple to where my hand is to get that smoothed down. When I'm pulling this way, I'm also pulling this way.
Gotcha. Colorado, Houston, Napoleon, Michigan. Tracy, you are
Welcome,
totally
neighbor.
close enough. Mesquite, Texas.
I mean, we have people from Dallas, Texas.
You
here.
guys,
That's totally close
seriously, we're right by the airport. You don't need anything but an airplane ticket.
enough. Really? And airplane tickets, I was looking up 2 weeks ago. I wanted to go see the Portal in New York.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-hour flight. And I was like, how much is it to fly round trip? Because when I took my 16-year-old for their 15th birthday, it was $100 round trip.
Oh gosh.
$75 for a round trip ticket from New York to here. Like it's off season.
Off season, yeah.
But tickets are cheap now because nobody's flying because planes are
Because
falling
it's
apart, yeah.
right. Let's see. We got Sherwood, Arkansas, Cypress, Texas, Sweet Springs, Missouri, Gulfport, Mississippi. I think we should find all 50 states.
Yeah, so I've had over 20 states.
Nice.
Like 22 states.
Nice.
Of people who have been here.
Chicago, also totally accessible. You are easily can get here in less than 4 hours.
How's that shape look from the front?
That is beautiful. Tyler, Texas, Nashville, Middle Tennessee. That's not that far of a drive either. Just saying.
Tennessee is not.
Tennessee is not far.
Tennessee is like a
Washington.
2 hour city.
Hello, New York. I'm just going to keep yelling out people's locations because I think it's cool. Illinois,
Every county.
also. I have not counted.
So for everyone watching, I'm actually only going about a half inch down from the frame on the back here. You can't see from where you're at. But
What? LA, Atlanta, Kentucky.
my family in Kentucky.
My family's from Kentucky, Paducah.
Oh yeah?
Yep,
That's fun.
my mom's side. Vegas, sweet.
Ooh, Vegas. That's a fun one.
Iowa, Deer Park, Texas. Thank user number. Beautiful work. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Florida. Oh, see?
that
I
one?
love that attitude. It's an easy 12-hour drive to Detroit. That's awesome.
For a 4-day weekend?
For a
We can
4-day
go
weekend,
booze
it's
it after
perfect.
Class. I don't drink, but
So-
we can go booze it after class.
So, she does weekend classes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So, if you bought the 4 classes for the price of 3, you could stay for the whole weekend and bring a friend also.
For
That'd be
free?
for free for $225. Pennsylvania's on here. She does live on Tuesdays, 10 to 2.
I also
Eastern
have a
Standard.
Free private group.
There's a free private
You
group
can post
on Facebook.
questions in there, and I'll answer them for you.
Yep.
There's no reason for you to not be learning how to do this.
You can learn upholstery on
Isn't
Zoom.
it so easy. Oh my god.
She does
look
virtual
at
classes.
this. Look at this.
That's
The leg is
amazing.
straight
It's
now.
perfect.
Oh, okay.
So
Not
good.
done yet. I'm still working. So we're about to have to see what happens with pleats with this. So I'm doing the same thing here where I'm gonna go straight for as long as I can till it starts to
Yeah.
buckle because of the curve shape here. So let me just finish this straight away. Until it starts to fold. Like I'm not going to get past that fold there.
Where do you think the rest of your staplers are? I'm answering your stapler question in just a second.
So my toolbox somewhere, are there none in the air tools drawer?
No.
Did they put them in other drawers?
Well, that's a great question.
That's possible. Yeah, a little bit further to go there. All right.
Oh, here we go. All right.
So same concept I think about when I think about this is if someone comes
Yes,
like
and wants to
that,
slide their
you're
hand.
letting it down. You
Yeah.
don't want that fold going up in this direction. You kind of want it going down.
Right.
So I start down here, so the fold starts down here, and make my way up the top. I do think I can get these folds beyond the back of the frame, which means it's not really going to matter
It's not
what
gonna
they
show
look
much,
like
right.
because the back panel is going to cover them up completely. I'm so impressed with my fucking self right now. Every time I do this, I'm like, damn, Clark, look at you go. I'm like that. It's okay.
You're good. All right, Gianna asked, what kind of stapler are you using? So I'm going to show this one.
Oh.
This is what her preference is. It is not completely inexpensive. What is it, $300-400, I think?
It's pretty inexpensive.
But it's pretty inexpensive, but it's $300-400. So it's like that if that's not attainable for you right now.
I've had
So this
these
is B.
for 8 years though.
Oh,
And
nice.
I've never had to service them or do anything. They last 100 years.
There's also this brand. It's how do you say that? Meat? Meat?
Yeah, I'm not
I think it. These come. You can get these on Amazon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's MEITE, and I want to point out that you want to make sure when you get a stapler, if you're just going to get one, that you get a long nose. So this is
Yeah, you're gonna
because
have
you might
situations
need
where
to
you need
be
a
able to
long-
stick that in there in some place that's tight, and you need that extra length. But it doesn't matter if it's long when you have plenty of room, because then you can use it in all different situations.
All right, so I'm starting to make these pleats now.
You're starting to make the pleats. I'm going to do this.
I'm going to just make it look consistent on the other side. So I am going to see a little bit of this pleat here, but my frame is going to go to the edge of the wood, which is like, you're barely going to be able to see it.
Oh my gosh, U.S. Virgin Islands.
Ooh, welcome.
Welcome.
Beautiful
Can we
there.
come visit you? Can you find a maker
Yeah.
space? We'll come do classes.
You find
On
me a
location.
spot. I will come
Yeah.
teach classes near you.
Let's see. Virginia, what's the next weekend available?
So this weekend I don't have classes, but I start back again next weekend. My classes are typically every weekend, unless I have a family birthday, which May, June, and July. There's a weekend in all of those that I don't have a weekend available. But my next weekend available will be next weekend. But in August, I have the weekend retreat, which is
Yes.
the big deal. And it is expensive, but it's literally 10 times more expensive than my regular weekend classes. But
you get a
all
lot.
inclusive. All of your materials are included, which could be anywhere from like $300-$400 in materials
Yeah.
for the foam and batting and stuff too. All your materials are included. All of your meals are included. And that's fine and dandy, except for all your meals are prepared by Chef Allison Anastasia.
Yeah, you're not getting McDonald's.
And during the day, during lunchtime here at the shop, we do order local restaurants, like the good stuff. Zingerman's.
Zingerman's.
Is a popular one around here. So local farm to table type restaurants.
Yeah, amazing restaurants around
Yeah.
here too.
See that?
Let's see.
fold?
So if you go to her profile, there's a link to her website. That's where you can find all the class information.
And there's my email address too, so if you have like specific questions, you can just email.
Oh yeah, you can always email.
That's in my bio, too.
Email.
You'll
That's
see.
also in her bio.
So this fold looks like it's too far on this side. See
Yeah,
how
it's
short
coming
this
out.
one is?
Yeah, it's coming out too
So
far.
I'm gonna adjust that.
Here's me like criticizing you. No,
You
I think
know,
that's-
because you were taught.
Yes,
how to
I
do
was
it.
taught well.
It's okay. I'm also sitting on the floor looking up at this thing.
The question is, how much are you charging? I guess I need clarification
Oh,
on
for
what
this?
you mean charging
I
for
assume she means
this
for
chair.
This chair.
Um,
So this chair, I believe, was like $1,500 plus the cost of fabric. I never include the cost of fabric in my estimation prices because fabric can be anywhere from $5 a yard to $200 a yard. So I don't like to say, oh, that includes fabric, because they tend to like the expensive fabrics. So it was about $1,500, a little bit more than $1,500 plus cost of fabric. And that is assuming that I would finish this in about 10 hours, which we've already gone over because I had to redo
because you had to
it.
redo. Yeah. So Love a Peach. A little backstory. This fabric was discontinued. Kim was able to find it through a reverse search on Google from a picture that the client sent her, and she was able to find exactly, like really squeaking it out, enough fabric to be able to do this. So and we also this morning checked what the pattern match is, which is 36 inches.
It's a 36
So there is definitely not the ability to do a pattern match from the back
Not
to
an
the seat
exact
cushion,
pattern match,
but
we
it
did-
will follow.
So we did some pattern matching magic on these parts that had to come through. So we were able to align parts of the pattern, like here, there's some leaf line up here, and it's kind of spread out in the same way that it is spread out on the chair, so
Yeah.
everything looks balanced. It will match from here to seat. So going straight down to seat, it'll match. But there was no way, there was just no way.
Gotcha. Oh, Sativa is out there answering that question for us. Thanks, Sativa.
Thanks,
You're
Sativa.
absolutely correct. Limited amount of fabric, but best we can do. We're doing it.
Yep.
Thank
so now we're
you.
working our way from the center in this direction because that side is effing done. What time is it?
It is 2:48.
Ooh.
We're
We get 10
Seeing
minutes
people
to
from
finish.
Colorado. Oh, thanks, Sativa. My name's Lisa Ramsey with Ramsey House Upholstery, who has been trained by Kim.
For
So,
the past year.
yes,
And
for the
now
whole
working
past
with
year.
me.
And now I work with her. I also have our own business that we work out of our home. So don't feel like you have to have a store or something.
Yeah.
We do this in our dining room and our family room.
And
My
here.
husband and I. And here. We come
living
here
rooms.
for things that we're not able to do at home.
So I also don't have my own shop. I used to have my own shop. It was 6,500 square feet. It was expensive. All of my profits were going into the overhead. We lost a ton of money doing that for 6 years because we wanted the big freaking cool warehouse that looks cool that everybody wants. But
That you don't need.
right, this space, this maker space, has more tools than we have. It has CNC routers, plasma cutters. We can make anything. My husband's a metal fabricator and a wood fabricator. So MakerWorks is now an extension of our business. So I don't have a shop anymore, but I can do all of this under here. I pay a small monthly fee. I pay top tier membership. I have an all access pass, which means I have keys to the shop. I can come here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week,
Which is
and use
crazy.
any of these fucking tools whenever
I know.
want to.
I would totally do
It's
that too.
nuts.
I'd be like, you know what, it's 10 o'clock, but let's go like make a
Let's go carve
cushion.
a table with the
Yeah,
CNC.
let's go do
It's
that.
like sending a file to print. You don't even need like special
Right.
training for it. So my top tier membership fee here is $210 a month. That's my overhead
That's
for my
crazy.
business.
Yeah.
I run my classes out of here. I work on my projects here. We reserve these rooms for like different things we need to. Tomorrow night we're meeting here
Yep.
to talk about business.
And here is
Clients?
Ann Arbor, Michigan,
Yes, we're in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
west of Detroit.
But there are over 1,000 maker spaces in the United States. Chances are you have something relatively close to you. And if you're just getting started and you need a place to spread out and make a mess that isn't your living room floor.
Upholster for 15 years and never have I asked for money. You need to start
Wow.
doing that because you could make some crazy money.
You could make a lot of money.
Why redo? Why did you take it apart? And
So
because you didn't
she
like how
had
the
this reupholstered like 20 years ago. Or
No, I think why did we redo?
why did I redo
Because she
it?
didn't like how the pattern matched up.
I did. The pattern was a little.
So she
skewed.
improved the pattern matching.
But also, I needed to serge the edges of the fabric.
Oh, that's true. Because this is like, look, if you can see here, I'm going to zoom in.
Frays.
Look at how badly it frays.
But where it's sewn, I serge the edges so that there's more structure there.
Yeah.
So it lasts a lot longer.
Let's see. I'm trying to get through all of
I've
these.
looked right at these pliers and been like, where my pliers?
Oh, Love a Peach says this reminds her of the green chair.
The little green chair?
The little green chair? I don't know which one she's talking about. Or the one with the birds on it. I love that one. Dallas, Texas.
Oh, is that why?
Oh.
Birds on it?
Yeah, the one that goes with those dining chairs. That's green.
No.
Wasn't
Is
it?
a bird? It didn't have
Is
birds
it
on it.
I
It's
thought-
like turquoise.
What? Okay, wait.
It's it's like a teal.
It has peacock
It has a feather. It doesn't have a bird. That's why I was confused.
Okay. It has a feather.
I knew it had a feather. I'm just like, I think
That's
like a
hilarious.
spot. So I'm just like shaping this now so that
PG, if you didn't hear, we're in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Texan 04, yep, this is beautiful print. It's gorgeous fabric.
gorgeous.
Sativa, shout out to you. Thank you for all your love. I appreciate it.
The rest of the chairs will go together so fast.
Right?
This is the hard part. We spent the
What?
whole day.
Allison works out of her RV.
Nice.
Sweet.
Traveling
upholsterer. That's amazing.
Come visit.
Love it. Come visit us here. We'll find a place to park your
Let me
RV.
go on tour with you. That would be fun.
The one your daughter was taking to college. That's a green shirt she's talking about.
Oh, that bitch.
Ah!
The little green chair. Yeah, that one.
Some
I redid.
extra green
That one I redid 3 times over live.
Oh
We
no.
redid it 3 times. Yeah, so I had this little green chair. was my favorite chair, and I was never going to reupholster it because it was like the best description of what upholstery is. You could look at it and it looked like trashed, but you could see potential in it. Like you could see what it looked like when it was like brand new, and I was like, that was my prop chair. I left it. I used it to prop open doors. It was always like invisible. Everyone could see it because I'd just be like something like this. So my daughter goes away to college, and I make her the gift of reupholstering this chair.
Oh my gosh.
I reupholstered the chair. I had to do it 3 times over live because I kept messing up its deep button tufting on a curve like this. So
Is it the bright green one?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that
so
chair.
it was really, really hard. And everyone who was watching did a really good job of like helping me problem solve with that too.
So Sativa, the staples are actually on a diagonal because that gives you the most stability with the fabric.
Covers more surface area. So it's covering more of the fibers of this very fray fabric, so it's going to hold in place, but it also creates a nice flat spot.
Yep, it makes
So when we go to put our trim on the back here, that's nice and flattened out. None of my foam went back here. None of my batting went back here. Everything is just fabric
Just
back
fabric
here,
back
so
there.
that is nice and flat.
Mona wants to know when you think you'll be getting on the cushion. Might start next
So that's
week.
probably going to actually happen this weekend. So I need to get this out of here. You guys might not see that part, but I'll film it so that you can watch it. But this has got to get out of here. So you guys don't get to always watch the whole process of every project in real time with me, but I usually will put out the process videos so you can see everything come together.
So how do you put the other fabric on to match the pattern? This particular chair...
So for this, I can, so what they mean is, so I have to pattern match this cushion to this part of the pattern. I do have enough material to do that.
Gotcha.
So what I'll do is after I make, so this actually looks like it fits the same, so I probably have the same amount of thickness on here.
Yeah.
But usually I make my own pattern because after you put new materials on it, everything looks completely different. So I will make my own pattern for the seat, and after I've made the foam pattern for it and everything that needs to go in there, I set it in there, and then I drape the fabric over top of it. This is like the only time I do that.
Yeah.
And I get the pattern matched up, and I get everything laid flat, like the fabric is bigger than I need it, and then I pin it to the foam, and I take it to the table, and then I trace my pattern on it so that the pattern matches.
Got you.
And then I'll do the rest of the pattern matching that I can see at the table.
Just so you know, Mom, it is $2.55.
Jesus, I gotta go.
And
Mom.
do you have a special name for your husband on your phone?
Yes.
Okay, because he just called. Close up, please. What do you want to see, Sativa? We'll do one
So we
little
finished this
thing
side.
here.
I don't
We
think
finished
we're
that
gonna
full
finish
side.
it today because there's a lot that's got to go in to do it. We didn't do that arm yet.
Of course, she's gonna. Definitely, she will post the finished product.
Yes,
For sure.
And
You
the
will
process,
definitely
too.
get to see it.
You'll see the process of it. But
Oh,
you won't get
Susan
to
was
see
wondering
it.
about the back matching. Because there's a limited amount of fabric, that's probably not going to happen.
So the back I can do actually in one big piece of fabric. Remember we talked about that?
Yes.
So the back is going to go on in one piece of fabric. So
Oh, all the way under the arms and everything?
all the way
Oh,
around
nice.
this side.
Perfect.
Yes, because it doesn't meet this curve.
Oh, it's the
just-
outside curve.
Oh,
That's
it's the
easier.
outside.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
way easier.
Gotcha.
So I can get the whole back piece. I'm confident that I can get the whole back piece on in one piece of fabric using ply grip around all the edges.
All the edges. Gotcha.
But that's also going to be tough.
All right. Do you have a spiel before we? I think we're gonna have to.
Oh, spiel. Can they see me? Let me turn it around. I'm gonna flip it this way and do my spiel.
yourself?
Yeah, see myself. See what I looking like
See what I'm looking like.
after 5 hours of sweating
That
over
was a
this
lot.
chair.
It is hot.
Wow. Thank you guys so much for joining. Today was a really fun day. We got through a lot and I didn't cry. I'm noticing some indiscrepancies, but it's not done yet. So there's time.
Oh, now you're noticing something.
Well, I see that the left-hand side looks a little wider, but I haven't done anything to lock that into
Oh,
place
right,
yet. So,
right.
So I still have a lot of staple. Like, we finished this side.
Yes.
We have to
side
do
does
that
need to come
side.
down.
But it looks good. And I'm glad that you guys were here because I'm 12 years into doing upholstery, and every time I go to cut a piece of fabric, like I freak the fuck out. So you're not alone in that, and you never
Nope.
will be. It's going to happen every single time. I'm here every Tuesday. I go live every Tuesday. I try to be here from about 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Today we stayed longer because we made so much progress. And I will be here live again next Tuesday. We will be working on the Ramsey Sativa because that I'm really itching to do it, and it's a really cool fabric.
Sativa, come back.
This-
I'll be on the other side.
Yeah, this chair will be done by then, but you guys will be able to see process photos of that leading up to it. But next week we're going to work on Lisa's chair. It's so cool to see so many of you in here right now. While I'm giving this whole spiel, just tap on the screen as violently as you can because I'm going to risk being late picking my kid up from school for this last bit. So I teach upholstery workshops 4 days a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And I do it on those days to make it easy for people who are coming in from out of state to do a weekend. Because my weekend upholstery retreats, they always sell out, but they're really expensive and they're not accessible to everyone. So all of my regular classes I teach on the weekend, so you can come out any weekend and enjoy upholstery classes with me. Each of my weekend classes are 3 hours long and they're $75 a piece, but they're also buy 3 get 1 free. So you can do Friday through Monday 4 classes for the cost of 3 classes, which is $225. Those classes are also bring a friend free, so you can bring a friend with you and split that cost, and you're both looking at a little over $100 a piece to come out for a weekend, take a weekend full of upholstery classes and have a lot of fun. We have cool people here like Lisa. Someone in the chat says, how do we sign up? You can sign up. There's links in my bio to all my classes. I also do virtual classes. So if it's inaccessible to travel to me, you can go live on Zoom with me on Monday evenings and Saturday afternoons, and I teach virtual classes over Zoom. As soon as we get a dedicated space, we'll be opening that schedule up so we can offer more virtual classes, but for now it's 2 days a week. That's the same format. You bring your own project, and I work with you step by step to completing the steps until you complete it. You might need more than one class. They are also buy 3 get 1 free, so you can do a whole 4-pack of classes for $225. Credit cards accepted? Yes. Also, I think on my website you can pay through like Venmo and stuff, and you can also do financing. If you're doing the retreat, which is literally 10 times more expensive than a regular weekend, you can finance it. So there are options on there for you. So we have in-person classes every weekend, virtual classes on Mondays and Saturdays. Those are live over Zoom. They're not pre-recorded. And August 15th through 19th is my 5-day, 4-night upholstery summer camp retreat. All of your meals are included, and all of them are prepared by Chef Allison Anastasio, the owner of the Newton of Ypsilanti. The Newton is where we stay. It's a giant mansion in the heart of downtown Ypsilanti. It's restored. I believe it was built in 1876, and Allison is like the 4th owner of it. So it's still big, old, and creepy, and really beautiful and cool. So we stay there. All of our meals are there. We work here at the local maker space, MakerWorks, during the day for 8-hour days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. On Thursday, we do a field trip to Discount Fabric Outlet and Haberman Fabrics, and I'm actually working to communicate with Active Foam to potentially get a tiny walkthrough field trip of Active Foam while we're in the area, because they're all kind of in that same area. So if you want to join me for the upholstery retreat, that's on August 15th through 19th. So I've got to get off here. I got to go pick up the kid, but thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you back here next Tuesday, or you can join the local upholstery club and talk to me and hang out anytime you want. We'll see you later. Bye.
Nice work today.